Chilika is truly a bird lover's paradise. Millions of birds flock here every year, from white-bellied seagulls and gray-lag geese to flamingos and purple moorhens. Right behind me, a flock of beautiful eagles. It's just stunning. Chilika is designated as a Ramsar site, or a wetland of international importance. This place is home to over 200 species of fish, as well as a huge variety of aquaflora and non-aquatic plants. What I love about Chilika? The fact that there's tiny islands all over the place. This here is Beacon Island, and it's an architectural marvel in its own right. First, it's built on a submerged mass of rock. And second, it was built while the water level was as high as it is today. I've just spent an entire day at Chilika and wish I had some more time, ideally 3 to 4 days, to explore the other beautiful islands around here. But today, nonetheless, was absolutely lovely, really relaxing. The energy here is beautiful. You just feel great, and time, you know, it just slips away.
Still to come is the Bhitarkanika Wildlife Sanctuary. It's famous for being home to the largest estuarine crocodiles. There is just so much to see in Odisha, and I feel like there's just not enough time. So I think I'm gonna head up north along the eastern coast of the state now. What I love most about Odisha is the profusion of natural beauty. Its warm climate and diverse landscape has ensured its place as a haven for wildlife. Although there are several wildlife sanctuaries and parks around here, the one that tops the list is Bhitarkanika. It's one of the most unspoiled wild experiences in the country.
Watching the spotted deer and the monkeys in their natural habitat is so wonderful. In fact, there are many reasons why the Bhitarkanika Sanctuary is a hot favorite with naturalists. To begin with, it is the largest mangrove forest in the entire country after the Sundarbans. It's also really famous for being the nesting ground for millions of endangered olive ridley turtles. And finally, the estuarine crocodiles of Bhitarkanika? Well, they hold the distinction of being the largest species of its kind, according to the Guinness Book of World Records. There's a croc. Oh, wow. It's nesting time, so you can see a lot of them with their babies.
Today, it's sunny and beautiful, and since the tide is low, I can actually see many crocs sunbathing on the banks. Some are over 6 meters in length, but they're pretty shy creatures. The slightest whiff of human presence, like our approaching boat, makes them quickly slink away into the water. Meandering through the creeks in Bhitarkanika is quite an experience. It's a complete birdwatcher's paradise. This place is flooded with over 170 species of resident and migratory birds. Kingfishers, painted storks, even Argentine storks are around here. It's absolutely beautiful. Yesterday was fun, but I spent most of my time exploring Bhitarkanika by boat. Today, I want to do something different. So I'm going to go for a nature walk on one of the islands. What a welcome relief from the overcrowded parks and sanctuaries which are always bustling with people and vehicles. That's what I love about Bhitarkanika.
From here I can see how vast and dense this jungle is. I can't imagine how much wildlife is actually hidden inside the jungle.
Here, it's possible to be just one with nature, truly absorbing the sights and sounds of this pristine island.
Apart from being nature's treasure trove, these mangroves provide amazing protective functions. They act as effective shelter belts, especially against natural disasters such as cyclones and tidal surges. In fact, during the unprecedented 1999 super cyclone, these mangroves withstood the onslaught of supercyclonic winds and saved the life and property of millions of people. Could have easily spent more than a couple of days nestled in nature in Bhitarkanika, enjoying the wildlife, the weather. I definitely have to come back. It's the perfect place to reboot and rejuvenate.
Up next is a colorful weavers' colony, followed by an exploration of ancient Buddhist excavation sites.
Odisha has a rich tradition in handlooms. Their products are known for their highly artistic designs, color combinations, and durability. So I thought I'd visit a small weaver's village to see how they're actually made. I'm at a village called Buddha Jayantipur in Nuapatna, which is famous for using centuries of tradition woven into cloth. This is the one place where you'll find many of the weavers using the old style of weaving, which they've been doing for generations. But their most famous style is the tie and dye pattern here, which is popularly known as ikat. This community of weavers are also closely linked to the Jagannath cult. In fact, one of the specialties of this village is the very rare inscribed Geet Govinda textile.
The Geet Govinda, by the way, is a lovely and romantic rhyme about the love shared between Lord Krishna and Radha. This rhyme is considered extremely dear to Lord Jagannath, who is a form of Krishna. Every night, the deities at the Jagannath temple in Puri are dressed in a special Geet Govinda shawl, on which phrases of this rhyme are woven. Traditionally, only 3 alternating colors were used in the Geet Govinda textile: green for Balabhadra, red for Subhadra, and yellow for Jagannath.
It's really fascinating to see how most of the roots of the art, dance, and culture in Orissa can be traced back to Lord Jagannath.
cloth is still woven here on pit looms, and the design takes the form of horizontal stripes. The motifs are mainly floral and have fish or animals which are highly stylized. Traditionally, the fabric was only made of silk, but with time, the weavers also started using their techniques on cotton. The process of making the beautiful ikat fabric is very arduous and requires great skill. The first step is to dye the yarn by successively wrapping and tying different sections of the bundle, and then applying one color at a time. This way, the dye penetrates the exposed sections and does not touch the wrapped ones. The color scheme is predetermined with extraordinary precision, so that when the dye threads are woven together, the design appears in the finished textile as if by magic.
Orissa has so many historical and cultural little jewels, but the three excavation sites of Lalitgiri, Ratnagiri and Udaygiri are supposed to be amazing. First Buddhist excavation site I'm visiting is called Lalitgiri. It dates back to the 1st century. It climbed up the ladder of sacred importance during the 1980s when relic caskets were found inside a stupa. Many people believe that the fragments of the bone that were found inside these caskets were that of the Lord Buddha himself.
The next Buddhist excavation site is Ratnagiri, which lies in the Birupa River Valley and is another famous Buddhist center. A large excavation has unearthed 2 large monasteries, a big stupa, Buddhist shrines, sculptures, and a large number of votive stupas. It's here that archaeologists have also dug out a rich crop of ancient artifacts. Some of the highlights are the large Buddha and a host of idols of the Buddhist pantheon. In fact, this head of the Buddha indicates the colossal nature of the original pieces. The excavations here reveal that this Buddhist center was built way back in the 6th century.
Both Ratnagiri and Udaygiri belong to a much later phase. In the beginning, this was an important center of Mahayana Buddhism. But around the 8th century, this became the nucleus of Tantric Buddhism. And that is when it spread to other parts of India and around the world.
This is the last site of the Diamond Triangle. It's called Udaygiri. It's the largest Buddhist complex in Orissa, and recent excavations have revealed the ancient name of the monastery as Madhavpur Mahavihar. Chronologically speaking, the Udaygiri Buddhist complex was built after Ratnagiri and Lalitgiri. These monasteries probably flourished between the 7th and the 12th centuries. The excavations brought to light a sprawling complex of 2 brick monasteries, a brick stupa, a stepped stone well, and rock-cut sculptures.
The highlight of this trip is visiting sites where Buddhist life and culture flourished hundreds of years ago. Broken pieces of sculpture in ancient ruins are unbelievably exciting. But the unexcavated areas are what will really be a mystery for art lovers and archaeologists for some time to come.
Stay tuned. My journey comes to an end with a visit to one of Odisha's most unique tribes, the Santals. Odisha has numerous tribes that comprise more than a quarter of the state's population. Many of them have now adapted to the mainstream Indian lifestyle, but some have managed to carefully preserve their distinct way of life.
I'm traveling through Kionja right now, which is predominantly a tribal region. In fact, one of their oldest and most distinct tribes are known as the Santals, and they belong to the pre-Aryan period. Namaste.
Namaste.
क्या हाल है?
अच्छा है.
Although the Santals knew I was going to drop by for a visit, I was completely taken by surprise at the warm traditional welcome. After all that dancing, one of the Santal women invited me home. She had a simple place which was really neat and pretty. It was built in the traditional style and color scheme. The colors were all natural, black made from local stone, and yellow and brick red made from the local soil, which is very rich in iron ore. Most of the homes were decorated with different motifs, made by women using chalk or vegetable paint.
Ma, dulu hataro me, ina joma nyagui ya. Nda onu muda dulu. Ibu, gila bina hana hitri re odak le. Maka ona ma topaan ha. Dan wa gila kodo. Bes daralam bodo ja.
आप क्या बना रहे हैं?
Bodo jandi ni benaya. Nado nyuya aboge. Abo nyuya hoje. Hoje moy.
This is a really interesting moment right now because they don't understand any language I know, Hindi or English. I don't understand the local dialect that they're speaking. So we're having a very interesting communication happening. Okay.
Này biết tin nhiều cả mấy artist som bam hijo na hai.
शुक्रिया.
Baba re, beti ek khen hadi bin yo. Ai wa ni kabu ni ho be ji. Aru chop kana aru chop. Na beti jam aru chop. Le no to. Artist ha ba. Artist na mami ka bache. Odisha bhi la.
I'm having such a great time. What a great way to spend the afternoon with the girls of the village or the ladies of the village. We have no idea what we are all saying, but we're having a lot of fun.
Masa cele kanya lo ai. Pasur bajar le किरिnya ka. बाजार से है. ये बहुत अच्छा है. अड़ी नपाय.
So sweet. They brought out, I think, one of their fanciest sarees. आपका चूड़ी अच्छा है. Green. Okay, ठीक है. Fine. शीशा है. शीशा है. दिखाओ शीशा. मिरर. चलो मैं भाग रही हूँ. बाय.
Orissa was absolutely amazing. It stretched and satiated my wanderlust to the hilt. There are beaches, wildlife, heritage, art, culture. It has everything rolled into this one state. So if you're bitten by the travel bug and you're wondering where to go, pack your bags and head to Orissa, the divine land.